with Andrew Hamilton, the chair of SPAA, and I mean 1 year into the job, so still relatively new.
I feel very new.
How has the last 12 months, your first 12 months?
It's been fantastic. It's been a great learning experience for me, but it's been exciting. There's been a lot happening in the industry, some good and some bad, but I've really enjoyed the opportunity, and it's ongoing, that's for sure.
Was the workload and the type of work what you expected?
It was. I mean, I'd been on the board prior to, so
Yeah.
I had an understanding and saw how much work went into with Sharon Long in particular as a previous chair, and so I had an expectation and been able to manage that, which has been good.
Okay, you say there's been some good and some bad. What would be? Can you sort of label a highlight and a low light of?
I think the continuation. I think
I shouldn't say low light. I should say challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for me, we've now got an industry. I think the self-managed superannuation is very much standing out there, and people are really seeing it as a legitimate form of superannuation, and that's across from everywhere from trustees through to the advice networks, and even the institutions now are really seeing self-managers. This is a way forward. Okay. So that's been really good.
I think it's interesting you say a legitimate form of superannuation. Because in the paper today, obviously, front page of the Australian, it's not just legitimate, it's well and truly in the eyes of ASIC and the ATO as to somewhere they can glean a bit more revenue.
Yeah, well, I think that's the issue I have with that is that it's a form of superannuation. So superannuation across the whole lot, whether it's self-managed superannuation, whether it's an industry super fund or any other form of superannuation, at the end of the day, it's still superannuation. And the rules for superannuation are very clear and set. I think some of the confusion comes to the back end of how the administration and the flexibility you have when you're administering a super fund, self-managed super, can do things a little bit differently. But it doesn't mean other funds can't do the same thing.
Right. I mean, obviously I don't know that much about it, but it sounds like they're saying it's unfair because there's smaller operators with one or two people involved so they can move quickly, whereas the bigger funds can't.
Absolutely.
And it's not fair, Andrew.
Well, they've got to catch up, don't they?
Okay. All right. Tonight, 10 years since the lodgement of SPAA at ASIC, so pretty exciting. What do you think it means for you guys to be celebrating your 10-year anniversary?
Oh, look, 10 years ago when Andrea first came and spoke to me with regards to SPAA,
so you were one of the...
I was one of the first ones that she came and had coffee with.
Yep.
And I mean, the idea sounded fantastic. And again, it's one of those things that you look at and say, well, that sounds great. Seen it before, not sure it's going to happen. Now, being here 10 years later, and we have absolutely, and we have to put this down to the drive and the passion that Andrea has had, and she has pulled the industry and the people along, and she's pulled very good people together to make it happen. So it's fantastic that we got to this point, and it's something that we really desperately needed. Okay,
would you hazard a guess at what the next 10 years will look like for SPAA?
I think the continued growth in this area. I think self-managed is already the largest sector in superannuation. It's going to continue to grow. So I think the role and the importance of SPAA with regards to increasing education and standards is so important that we'll just continue to blossom.
Okay, and the challenges for the future, I was just looking at the paper this morning. I don't expect that you know the answer to this question. If anyone does, you will. When Hockey and Matthias Cormann said there will be no unexpected detrimental changes to super if the coalition gain office, no unexpected detrimental changes, what do you think that might mean?
My fear is that means anything that's in there currently or is introduced prior to
between now and September,
that they will not do anything with in the short term.
Okay.
That's my fear. My hope is that they actually get involved and say we need to make some changes and rectify.
Okay. Well, interesting 12 months ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good on you, Andrew.
Thank you.